Good afternoon to everyone. So we are going to continue now with our teaching on transforming suffering and happiness. Up until now, we have talked about many different reasons for accepting suffering. And as we were talking about before our break, if we are able to practice in conditions of retreat, this is excellent, but if not, then it is also okay to set aside some time each day for meditation practice. So in practicing on accepting suffering, then in the future when sufferings of different kinds arise, it won't be a problem. They won't cause us disturbance, and our mind or disposition will become very gentle. At present, however, when harmful circumstances arise, everyone's minds become disturbed and agitated, and not only do they make themselves unhappy, they also perceive unhappiness in their environment. But through practice, our personalities or dispositions can be made more gentle. And our personalities can also be made more open-minded. And in addition to this, our practice will make us more easily able to get along with other people. We won't be narrow-minded. We will be able to have easy and good interactions with others. And in the face of whatever sufferings or obstacles we encounter, our minds will be strong and courageous. And whatever arises, whatever kind of appearances arise, none of them will serve as obstacles for us. Either we will transform them to our practice, or they will, in any case, not serve as obstacles. So everything will come to good result. And in general, in the course of whatever task you are doing, your mind will be calm, peaceful, not agitated, very stable.
Denita Tendiga Teni Yamlin Teni Shetana Teni Jingdita, Atendi Yaboyong Tapandose.
So if you are able to put this into practice, make this your practice, then this will be the result.
Tening also more tini Kwepa Chapat the Simcum got in Kola, Tini Yapo Chaji on King, Tini Kwepazina, Tini Mosila, Tini Kyopoyona, Duboyona, so thing also Tini Simla, Tini Rale Pata, similar to the Hako yours.
For someone who is wise, and particularly wise in relation to matters of the mind, they realize, they know that happiness is determined by the mind.
Teni Tendi Indi Tenita Pena Dikit, Sosolan Soa Demo than Kepotinis Yon Gonayang, Teni So Dengato Sim Gotolatini Yapos Yona, Teni Dikit and Dambatini Yongore, Samnitini Sim Tolatini Girtu Japkan Doze.
And especially realize that in order to have happiness, it is necessary to make changes at the level of the mind, and only in this way will happiness come about.
Teni Atsu Mi Mambo, Teni Samna, Tangatsu Soso Sim Kipo Chipatsam Chokyo Mari, Tano Ubo Jamana Mambo Gore. Teni Ubuti Son Jamana Mambo to so Yonatini Tazo, Atsu Sim Tola Kipo Yongere Matoba. Most
people think that it's not possible to achieve happiness just through working at the level of our minds. Most people think that, at least in addition, we also need various material things. It's not possible simply or purely through the mind to achieve happiness. Most people think like this. Even though many people think like this, in actual fact, it isn't correct. We have choices that we can make, and everyone is entitled to make their own choices. However, if what we would like or aspire to is a happy life, a relaxed life, then it isn't necessarily the case that we need all of these objects and material things.
Many
of us encounter lots of different people. I personally do too. I get to see many different kinds of lifestyles. And some people, in terms of their material lifestyles, are very luxurious. And they have millions of dollars. Some hundreds of millions and maybe billions. However, they are not in the slightest happy in their own minds.
Teni Makashila Tendi Mambo Mundutayana, Korangan Soa, Teni Tota, then Shertanka Ungubo Haliba Mambo, Tarjibo Halibat into Shibot in the
But then there are others who don't have so much things in their lives.
Teni Koranso Kori Yabore, Teni Desa Kamba Teni Yabore, Tenda was a Leka Lesa Kori Teni Yabore, Teni Koranso Lankor, Tesoya Yabore, Teni Soa. But
then there are those others who, for everything, is absolutely excellent. The houses they live in, the places that they work, the cars they drive, the food they eat, the clothes they wear. However, in respect of these things, their external environment, their homes, etc., they really encounter a lot of hardship or a lot of difficulty. They expend a lot of energy.
Tini nimariri la tini leka chisu japo de marezi leka chisu pe mambo le gondu.
The amount of time that they work for each day is not just 8 hours. They spend a lot of time working.
Tini leka tsamma tini titsut go ni ta titsut din la yinda manda drop goes ni tini tindri go rekadu tindi te non shik halepa chimbo yung godu.
And in their work lives, they've got very strict deadlines inside which certain tasks need to be completed, and so they have great pressure in their lives.
Tini tindi go jimsen ji leka te korang go mandrop tini te nyokta mambo yung ni tini sem go tola kable mambo yung godu.
And because of, say, not being able to complete these tasks, or in any case in the course of doing this work, they have a great deal of pressure and causes them a lot of difficulty.
Tini tsammo nit yakbo khaga mandus.
Some people are not able to sleep well.
Tini tsammo nit ma khbi jimsen ji tini nyangkar tini leka le gona ya yakbo le thabga mandus.
And because they aren't able to sleep well at night, they're not able to work properly during the day.
Then so a chet chigres so a chet tang chigrendus.
This is one lifestyle.
Tini yang jamba tini tongondus nga so perna tini jamba data yang nam roba ga sachan data so nala yang so a chet jamba dus.
But there's a different kind of lifestyle. This lifestyle is that of farmers and nomads.
Tini korang so zama yinandra tini kumba yinandra. And
their food and the clothes they wear are not luxurious or extravagant in any sense.
And
their external environment too is not extravagant. There are no big buildings and these kinds of things. However, they do live in a way that doesn't cause much destruction to the environment. So even though the food that they eat and the clothes that they wear aren't fancy, nevertheless they live in a way that doesn't pollute the environments that they live in. There are some people who have no pressure whatsoever in their lives. Even though, but looking at these people, it would seem that it would appear that the clothes they wear and the houses they live in are very poor. When they do work, however, manual work, they do have to exert some effort. But in their minds, they're very happy. So this is another kind of lifestyle. So these are two different possible lifestyles. As to which one is better, I don't know. Which does everyone think is the better lifestyle? Tambo.
Yeah. Ya ta tindi na boris ta nga so shetang tini so la la tini damga tini te she chokore kantar tini so ra chepon chowa chepo ze ati sim kel pala zeona li chepola zeona ko mdu ze nga so.
So that's the way it is. People have their choices as in relation to happiness, but whether it produces mental and physical happiness, I don't know. It's possible that the majority of people think that the first lifestyle is the preferable one.
티 잡버던 가서 당럽 거더니 몰라 삼로 당나 망치슈디 소아 계산 담보데 가거더니 삼 담보데 담사레스.
The majority of contemporary people, modern people in particular, choose the first lifestyle.
강타르티니 당가서 심께부조야다 소소거더니 소아 께부조야 소심 데모조아텔라 강타르 Korea countries kanala dinanda gangtariante so this same rendu.
Regardless, insofar as having a happy and joyful mind is concerned, irrespective of the environment that we are in, the main thing is our mind.
Yena dangaso yang mi mambozu kutini semke pochubo yongo mandu ngubo mambo go samni tindi samgo yores.
But for most people, happiness does not come. They constantly think that they need more things.
Teni kashega samna teni sem soso sem la teni kepo mayona teni sure ko teni khangbare to so jigbo yona ta te di sendi thola teni phango demo da yakbo yongo re ma to te mayona teni tonda chi mundu samni teni yang samgo dugse.
Chisla pentoyo.
Sendi thola demo kepo yongo re ma to te yong ma thna. And
then there are some people who, not having happy minds, despite the fact that their homes are very beautiful, besides giving them some immediate pleasure in this life, have no purpose beyond this.
Samlonda mambo rete gangster gang yinjong so sem go thola dabo yakbo japjito pekar chimborende uzi.
So that's how it is. Some people prefer the first lifestyle, other people prefer the second. Everyone has many different kinds of thoughts about this. Whatever lifestyle we prefer, the most important thing though is that we look after our minds.
Teni gangster ngaso teni shurur la teni pena ngubo mambo yona teni dijang ngaso state semkepo teni yong thapgare kapse.
Of course, occasionally having our external environment or having certain material things does give us happiness.
Teni ina te njerwa halipa chembore te ngaso sim shulok la teni shulok ngupo te yona teni ngaso sim te demo da kepo yongya demo to sim khorang teni demo kepo zo mathna teni shurur ko ngupo chon njerwa halipa mambo yindi ngaso dewa da kepa je ate teni njerwa mambo drone yorangbo ne mathapa otenri rendro nduze.
However, these things are very changeable and very fickle. If we rely on these things in our external environment to make ourselves happy, but don't know how to make ourselves happy in our mind, then the happiness and joy that we do derive will not be long-lasting.
Teni sim teni tola sim rang teni ta kebonra o teni dewa ta kebo zo thopsona teni shurur ko ngupo chola ngerwa mambo drona teni ti sim la ngerwa mandone teni yakbo teni yong thapkon doze.
However, if we know how to achieve happiness and joy in our own minds, then even if the external environment or material things give rise to change, our mind won't follow in the footsteps of these changing things, and this will be good for us.
Teni soso sim yakbo teni dakbo jam mathavna tin soa kesr nika ni yore ta nika te teni ta yakbo maduze nika te yakbo marezi dakbo jam mathavna.
If we are not able to look after our minds, then even the second lifestyle that we talked about isn't particularly good.
Teni kangre rezena pe nanga so makashi teni soa tab depo shini teni shini dede yore rete yena teni ta khonso yang sholo konde ngubo mambo teni muk mamthong yimseng gare ma so ba teni khoso teni gormo mambo ta khangba ta langkhor ta so kar ti nyima sela mukum thong yona teni khoso yang sem lan do pa ki te arak teni sam te marak na sem na la dungor yang rabo jamba so dan dara rin ro ndu.
Because even though people who have this lifestyle may live very simply, their lack of pursuit of material things is only because they've never seen them before with their own eyes. However, once they do set eyes on these kinds of things, then just like everyone else, they give rise to desire and set about attaining these things.
Tini soa tabdi tini to kirne tini deyong keng muzu te tongchir ke nala tini yone tini dawa kashin degna tini korang tongchir ke nala tini rabo re sem ko thola ndopa mambota tini sem ko thola kangar mambota tini anoshik mamboya chikbarin ro ndugz.
A person who initially lived a very simple life, if you put them in a big city, after a few months, they would become similar to city dwellers. They would have desires of all kinds, they'd have difficulty in their minds, pressures, and so forth.
Tindi yindi nga chun chowa kerser nipo kanga wang tu shina tini sim dakpo yakpo jabyata sim la tini wang yakpo rangwang yakpo thobya sim ko thola rangwang thobya te pekar chimbores.
So regardless of what lifestyle we do lead, the most important thing is that we properly look after our minds and achieve freedom at the level of our minds.
Ta tini ti yanshuti nga so tini te dungmer tini tang de lenser ka tini korte tini ta churamba te zamamun rago thone sha pares.
So what we have been talking about thus far has been rather foundational level of accepting suffering as our practice.
Tani ta nipati te rambam thombo rago thone sha karen rambam thombo thone sha patela tani tondam demba yang zegre yana tani tomba ni yang zegre o tela tani dungur me pa zoya tani zre.
So moving on to a somewhat more advanced level of practice, we have what can be talked about as an ultimate level of practice, or the ultimate truth, or emptiness, and practice at this level, which is oriented to making suffering disappear.
Tani ndeng aso tani dungur tanglen shia ta yana dungur mepa tani shipi tap yakshu tap ang tangbo deres.
And this method is the best, the absolute best method for getting rid of suffering. However, for this practice, one needs a relatively advanced level of view.
Tatawan tombozena tini yana zoba chimbo, yana shakja chimbo. O tindi tini ti tun yapo tok gores, yana tombani ki ton te yapo tok yo gores.
And for this level of practice, one would need to have realization of the meaning of either the Dzogchen practice or Mahamudra practice, or a realization of the meaning of emptiness.
Teni ti tomba ni ki ton teni tok menken ke teni mo yena ta teni nga chun de laglen te tar thsa mares.
For someone who is unable to have a realization of emptiness, then this level of practice is not so appropriate.
Teni tomba ni ki ton tok o zoba chimbo ina shakja chimbo tomba ni ki ton tok teni gum jabya ga nyamlen te yongken teni yena teni sem tokla dungar kang yona te so thamche polli lamu shini thakchu she kare.
For a practitioner who is able to realize through practice the meaning of Dzogchen, Mahamudra, or emptiness, then any kind of suffering that arises will be able to be resolved very easily.
Teni nga so sem ga nala marche pa da modiwa teni dungar teni nyomomba teni kang tang kang yona teni di dungar te so thamche pu nga so sem ga khala yo re sem ga khala yo sem ga khanda wala yo re ma to sem ga tangla yo mare sem ga tangla te so thamche pu yo mare.
Whether it's happiness or joy or afflictions or suffering, all of these are only surface phenomenon of the mind. They are not the deep layers or the core of our mind.
Tani perna nam khala tani chumba mangbon chu tani thok jab jig chak ta chimbo chak o tenda allon ji tani shina tani teso thamji bo nga so sathok ne yar tana halipa tani jigsrong wa jena tani changang yongya o tani rete yina tani teso thamji bo tani nam kha ga tani tangla halipa gam thosala yo mares.
It's like clouds gathering in the sky, lightning, thunderstorms. When we look at these phenomena taking place from the earth, they are very terror-inducing. They're very scary. However, these are only taking place at a surface layer of the sky. Higher up in the sky, it is not taking place.
Nam khala tani olong jo tani chamba mangbon chuk tani charwa jaw long jab tani jachim bom jig chak tani she wi kaps o satong ni tana hale pa changmo raw tani reta yena tani ti kaps tani ta nga cho chu nam jen raw tani zik na lan dini jo na chang ko thola sone tana tani tholam thosala chi gyaw mar sama nam kha ngombo tani res.
So even though looking at the sky from the ground, the wind blowing and rain pouring down and thunder and lightning would appear very frightening, if we were to take an aeroplane and to fly up above the clouds, then all we would see would be blue sky.
Tini te dang rapo nga so sem ga la ma ki ba mambo yong sem ga la khong cho jer dang ta tini mambo yong tini yong devi kaps tini ti kaps tini te nga so yang the markepa madiva to sama same godini khanda bola yores.
In just the same way, our feelings of unhappiness, anger, aversion, and so forth, when they arise, they are only the surface of our mind.
Tini ti kaps karte nga so sem ga tang la tini roni tini tana sem ga tang la roni tana tini ti pena nam kha ga tini chumba ga thola songwa jawre ti kaps tini chama tini chigyang yo mares.
But if at this time we were able to plunge down into the depths of our mind or the base of our mind, it would just be like taking an aeroplane above the clouds. There would be nothing there.
Tini ti kaps tini nga so sem ga tang la ro shi go res.
So we need to know how to go to the base of our mind in such moments.
Tini sem ga tang la tini zya ga tini ta thapsi nga so lojong she go res.
And we need to learn or study a method for being able to do this.
Tini sem ga tang la roni tini ta shi sona tini nga so ta tini sem ga na la yo pi nyomong ba dungor so chama tini ta nam kha ga chumban ra wo ren du ma tok ba ta sem ga tang la ti so chi gyang me pa tini khorang ka saro ha gon ro res.
And once we know how to look to the very depths of our mind, then we will clearly see that all of our afflictions and suffering and so forth are just like clouds in the sky.
Teni koranga te hako sawi jis teni ta chowa na la namgyeng gon chowa na la teni sem marke pada teni nyomo ba teni kewi kapse te lamsang korang teni hako ne o tan de zamba pena nga so mulum ji na la teni te yong de bi teni nawa da o teni re sama do korang zamba yimba de hako do re teni zamba yimba de hako charti teni sem na la yo pin jiktak ta sem na la yo pi dungmar sama lamsang meba chakres.
And in knowing this, in a practitioner's ordinary life, when affliction and suffering arise, then immediately recognizing them to be false, illusory, like a dream, the feelings of fear and suffering will immediately disappear.
Tene ko ran so sem ga na la nam tin ri dungmar ta tin ri yona tene ti kaps tene gom jab kare tene gom jab jagna tene sama me pa chang do res.
So whenever we are giving rise to a feeling of suffering, we should meditate, and in meditating it's possible for the suffering to disappear.
Tene te nga so te dungmar sem to ko dungmar tene me pa che ya thapsi yak shu te res.
This is the best method for getting rid of mental suffering.
다연당 때 가서 람상 라렌 뎁고나 때츠카 보레.
But this is not, or it's very difficult for us to be able to put into practice straight away.
되니 냠린 종즈 쥐나 내가서 미 창마라 딘디 고급이어레 창마가 때 시탑 그래.
However, with some practice, everyone has the opportunity to be able to do this, and indeed everyone can do this.
어야 다디 안취띠 띠니 당가서 능물 띠니 람든 길득 때 띠니 셰파레.
So what we have covered so far is bringing suffering to the path of practice.
띠니 띠 롱된도 그에서 롱드 상마데.
And Kambo is just going to read the relevant part of the text.
어야 다띠니 띠 안취띠 가서 능물 땅렌 띠니 셰서 람키 셰서 손이 단디 올라 말 띠니 데킷 띠니 다 람키 셰서 샤그레.
So that transmission took us down to 2/3 of the way down page 16. So we have covered now taking suffering onto the path, and we are now going to start looking at bringing happiness to the path.
Then 가서 냠린 바즈 띠니 셰나 띠니 능물이요 띠니 다 람드 케르니 디 능물 띠라 띠니 가서라 파르칫 마용와 띠니 셰고 레타 대당 냠드 띠니 대와양 띠니 다 람드 케르니 띠니 대와가 양 가서라 데치 그 파르칫 마용와
So as practitioners, not only do we need to bring suffering to the path so that it doesn't serve as an obstacle to us, we also need to bring happiness to the path so that it too does not serve as an obstacle.
대와 소소랑 라티니 주 데치라오 딘디 종스 요나 디디양 데니양 저 잡잡제고레 마토바테 마시나 디니 티캅스 디니 다 나르길 쳔보께 온 거래지 되니 다 나랑 되니 초와 대시당 담바인 삼바로 다 나랑 직되니 다 존탕전인 삼바로 나랑 되니 돈보인 쳔보인 삼바고 되니 나르길게 그래서.
So if we have a bit of happiness in our lives, we need to be careful. We need to be careful because pride and arrogance can arise. We can easily think, oh, I have a happy life. I'm such a capable, able person, a great person.
되니 소소라는 때 나르길게 되니 미 잠바 남라 되니 차sup지 한다고 되니 용 쩌거리.
And in giving rise to pride in oneself, one can also begin to belittle or disparage others.
되니 양 레로 mambo 레로 침보렌도 그래 다 되니 저 대즈대 초아 기본라고 용나 되니 기본 종스 용나 디나라 되니 공코르네 되니 텔레 잔 되니 삼로가 되니 tamong 모통켄 되니 렌도 그래.
There's also a danger of getting lazy. By having a bit of happiness in life, one can become rather intoxicated with this happiness and not give much thought to anything else.
되니 딘디 인디 되니 다 가서 소소라 되니 소아 데모다 깨보 되니 용이 값이야 되니 대와다 깨빠티 되니 초로스 마땅와 시니 되니 대양 되니 냠링근 되니 고
So when we do experience some happiness and joy in our lives, it's important that we don't waste this. It's important that we convert these things to the essence of our practice. And there are two approaches in this regard, two ways of thinking.
요바 되니 영나 되니 수수고 돌아 되니 톱다 고사 되니 요바 영나 되니 년적 되니 요비 내급나 되니 소소당 잡니 당알아 다탄도 소탐주범 약본라운드 옛나 단도 소 참아되니 머딱 바레지 머딱 바레 되니 인디 다타 요나 되니 지마 아요 되니 하고요 말이 되니 인디 대솔라 예툰 어지요 말이 대자 할리바가 된디지 되니 잡친당 된디지 말이 삼니 된디 삼고 그래서.
So the first of these ways of thinking is if we have, say, material wealth, position and power in society, or fame, let's say, that to think that everything that I have now is impermanent. I have it now, but whether I will have it in the future, who can say? So these things of mine are not reliable.
Tini ti tong thola yang rezi ta nga so pe na gandhi tini nyan tak chen boyo na gandhi wancha chen boyo na tini gandhi tini mjorwa tini to pamjur kum jorwa chen boyo na to so samchi na tini pe na su su nima chigla tini nat tini to da chen bo da tini tini na tini da re so na te wancha ge pan tok mandu pamjur ge pan tok mandu jamba kang ge te pan tok me pan da tini ti korkup te mambo la yung go yor tini ti.
And this way of thinking is true, in fact. It doesn't matter whether we are speaking about wealth or position or power or fame or what the case may be. It's possible that one day we might be struck by a serious illness, in which case none of these things will be of any benefit to us. Many people come across moments like this.
Teni tindi sheni teni ngaso semde ti kapse teni ngaso semde yaram thumbore ne teni khorang teni ji yar ni ngargir chimbo teni reong kapse teni ngone ma te nong go gres
kana ti yanja sunan chirubak
semnang la ngargir chi on ti mara nong go gres.
So when we find our minds giving rise to pride, we need to press it down.
Teni tindi machina teni semnang teni maranun teni machina teni yang solo sosola dechita teni chongzo yong kapsi yang arjerki yang tito ko teni sem ko nala yang teni de nyomong ba ki teni merge sa teni reong gres.
Otherwise, if we don't do this, then when bits of happiness come along, we simply give rise to afflictions in our minds and accumulate unvirtuous actions and so forth.
Teni ti kapsa teni soso rang la teni demo ta kepo teni yong kapsa o teni ta ngarang teni demo ta kepo teni yong ndu ze teni ngarang teni yong kepo yong ndu yinang teni ta di zambolang ga thola teni yang mo teni ta kepo maimba kepo menken teni dungar mambo yongken teni jobo o teni mambo teni yore samni te sam gores.
And in these moments, we need to think that even though we at this moment may be happy and joyful, in the world there are a great many people who are currently unhappy, suffering and poor. We need to think about this.
Teni yendi teni ta ngarang ga teni dewan da sama teni par simchen samala jinni teni ngi dewan da simchen la jinni teni simchen tamche teni dewa ta keba teni teni yongya ta yangna teni ngi dewan da rabo simchen sama la yang teni dewa yo ta nga su sama teni demo ta kebo yongna teni yakbon de samni teni ti yongya ga chetane teni molum jap go reze ta ngarang myshchik po teni demo kebo yongna phantok chingmandu sama demo yong go ndu samni teni molum jap go re.
So we should then make cast an aspiration or make a prayer that our current happiness be given, that we give our current happiness to all beings, so that share it among them, so that they can all become happy and or share in the same kind of happiness as we currently experience. And we should make a prayer of this nature in the appreciation or understanding that simply ourselves being happy or joyful is not of much use.
Teni ti kaps taronga su jipchan ra chongsu shina teni ta dirdik tonglin o teni gum jachimbu gum gi ore teni te gum go re tonglin.
And if a more detailed practice in this regard would be the Donglen practice of exchanging happiness for suffering.
Teni namjin rapoina pena nga sola teni soa libo thola sem go thola teni demo da kepo teni yongna teni Donglen re teso gum matavna teni nga so teni dewa da kepa da nga so sem go nyamsim yong sarbi jis teni jigzong ro re teni men ro re ze.
usually happiness or suffering, which we experience at the level of our bodies and our minds, if we don't know how to practice donglen, exchanging the donglen, the practice of exchanging, then or taking and giving, I should say, then the experience disappears or evaporates very rapidly.
Dini karti tong dini she thosona ngaso pena so lisim ko thola demo che boyo kapsa ngaso te tonglen to so yabo she thamna dini tela tene ya ngaso sonum jashim bo dini soktab kare.
But rather than just having the feeling disappear very quickly after it arises, if we know how to practice donglen, then we can use this as an opportunity to accumulate great merit.
Dini tindi yendi kanstar ngaso dini ta sem de dini ta gongdu chapa jinda ngaso sem ka la dungmur yong kapsa dini ngaso susorang la sem so shini ta dungmur ze ate dini chapchimbo mare jini yarte chak gongdu ze sem de yarte chak gores.
So, as we said before, when suffering arises in our mind, we need to do some level of comforting to ourselves. We need to tell ourselves that it's not so big a deal.
Deni same kanala ya ngaso chi da ngaso la deni deshit o deni dawo yongi kapse deni same thumbo re ne ta ngarjir ki ne deni yongi kapse. But
when we experience happiness and give rise to pride or arrogance, then we need to press these down. So when we experience suffering, we sort of try to elevate the mind, or what's that expression, to crank it up a little bit. Whereas when we experience happiness, then we need to press it down. So with this cranking up and pressing down, we're seeking to keep our mind in a relatively even and stable state.
Teni ngaso namjini na ngaso teni nyamni me patindi zina ta ngaso la demo ta kebon ra teni chongzu yona ya ngaso hajang ka sem thumbore teni dungur chongzu yona ne kapteni sem hajang ka mamore ne teni yarn tho mar ma teni shini te ngaso namjin choa na la te sem thok la kable mambo chok yores.
So for ordinary people who are not practitioners, when happiness and joy takes place, their minds soar very high. When suffering takes place, their minds plunge into a very low place, and so they oscillate back and forth between high, low, and their lives are lived like this. It gives them much difficulty.
Tini yar chaya da mara naya tini taringa so samlo tansarni yores ki tini rez.
So, lifting up and pressing down, we have two different ways of thinking. And besides these two, there's another way of thinking too.
That the reason tini yoyate te ngarang tini ngarang rang tini ngun tini sonum or tini sabi tini the Jimson re team re tini yendi tini tarong ngarang mantani sonum sakgo the sami tini sam gores.
So this other way of thinking or other approach is, in order to enjoy a happy life, that is a life with a happy and well mind, a healthy body, good material conditions and so forth, we appreciate that if we currently enjoy these things, that it is as a result of the positive karma that we accumulated in previous lives. And on this basis, if we wish to continue to enjoy these things, we need to continue to accumulate positive karma.
Teni ta ngaso sanji chumdende kanji song rezina teni ngaso mo shirtang wa mo zina teni dungur mambo yone teni chudub gona 야 되니 셔당 더 등을 그더니 냠린다 요나 되니 추드바가 되니 던킨다고 되니 렌도 오래다 셔당 가서 뭐 셔당 와지겠나 더 등을 망보요 차티 되니 소소랑 그 등을 때라 당 잡네 페나 소와가 돌아 강을 망보요나 되니 소와가 강을 때 탁자야라 삼로 망보탕 데야 마토 바더니 추드기 돌아 삼로 망보탕 탑가 말해지
The Buddha Shakyamuni said that for ordinary people or an ordinary person in terms of their practice, when suffering takes place, so let's say suffering in their life, then their thoughts will be oriented towards how to go about addressing this suffering, and they won't be able to think about other things.
Teni indi teni ta demo ta kepo zgnani teni chudipjo ko ko biona teni nga cho mang chi shu teni chu yak bo dup thap kare ji tambo nga cho chowa ta to so tola kangar me pa teni chakpi jini teni ta zo nga cho teni chudipje la teni samlo tangare ji mang chi wa di.
For the majority of people, they practice comes well when they are in an environment that is happy and peaceful. That is, once they have addressed whatever difficulties are at hand, only then are they really able to settle down and focus on their practice.
Tatendi yendi teni ta ngarang teni dendi chowa deshche tang da ba tendi zga thone teni chudbiya teni kork karwa teni yo pa de pe sonum chimbore teni ta ngara chuyak bodub go samni teni sam go ndus.
So to have the opportunity to practice in the conditions of a happy life is the result, or is a great fortune, and so one should recognize this and undertake to continue to accumulate merit and do positive action.
Tate nga so teni te kepa lam de chewi kapse teni zo to ton sam di tola sam lo tang go res to sam de res.
So these 3 points are the main ones that we need to bear in mind in bringing happiness to the path.
Tesar mdur dana tari nga so kong la sha pa tere o ta nga ta pe na longshut teni jorwa chimbondu teni nyantak chimbondu teni wangcha chimbondu ndu tata ndu tamchi po teni ja hali ji ji yo mare tata yo na jima yo ha ko mare talo yo na sangphot yo ha ko mare ta ndu martak bare samni teni samlo ta ya sim tez mar mammu ro shi ya teni tambore.
To sum these 3 points up again, the first of them is whether our various material possessions, our enjoyments, fame, power, etc. We may be in possession of these things at this moment, but it's no big deal. We might have them now, later, who knows whether we will. We might have them in this very moment, but whether or not they will still be with us next year is uncertain. They are subject to impermanence. And so in thinking in this way, we sort of lower or press down our mind a bit. And the second approach or second way of thinking is that of giving and taking, donglen.
Teni sambada tari nga so kong du shama tak pare ta ngarang dendi sowa demo ta kepo z ka ngani teni ngarang la teni chudbya yo pa ti ngarang pe kabra karwa zambore teni tari ngarang sowa teni dewa ta kepa teni yong ya te hon ngarang ka sonum sak pi teni mrevre ta ngarang montan ni sonum sak go sam ni teni chudbya ya karung o teni yong ya teni zu she go re ta so sum de re ta so sum de teni nga so kepa
and the third is, as just mentioned, the recognizing that if one has very good conditions, a happy life in which to practice, this is the fruit of previous positive karma. And in order to continue to enjoy these things, it is necessary to continue to accumulate merit. And so then this forms a motivation of our practice. So these 3 points are the main ones that we need to keep in mind in bringing happiness to the path.
Teni tendi she thamna teni nga so dungmar yong yi kapse yang teni soso mache tondang damba she thap gare teni dewa yong yi kapse yang soso mache tondang damba she thap gare.
So if we are able to apply these points, then if we encounter suffering, our life can be made meaningful. And if we in moments of happiness too, our lives can be meaningful.
Tini ti maina nga su kong tu siya pandrawore tini ta dewa de dungur yung ine kabna tini ta ngarang dungur chimpore samni semgana la nyokta mambo yung tini chu dewa te ziyo na tini ta lamsang tini semgana la ngargir ki tini ngargir ki na tini chaktok ki gare tini chaktok ki sarti yung lamsang dungur rindu gore tini dungur kong korlo korya masok bayo mare tisi.
Besides these approaches, if we think when we encounter suffering, oh no, I'm really suffering greatly, this brings a lot of trouble to our minds. At the same time, when we encounter happiness, we give rise to pride. Pride gives rise then to jealousy. Jealousy then gives rise to suffering. So in such a way, we're not able to escape this cycle of suffering. So Kambo is now going to read the section of the text for the next section. So with the practice of bringing happiness to the path, as with bringing suffering to the path, in the beginning, if we're able to meditate under conditions of retreat, this would be very good for our meditation practice. So what we have been talking about so far is a relatively foundational level of practice for bringing happiness to the path. There is also a more advanced level of bringing happiness to the path through the realization of emptiness. And the practice in this case is exactly the same as in the bringing of suffering to the path. Everyone, whether it's happiness or suffering, regards these as extremely real and concrete in nature.
Teni yenna teni ta tung ngubu thola teni ta ndaso teni demba ta teni ta tung ngubu thola yopa ta teni rezina teni te yingo yo mares.
In reality, however, are these happinesses and sufferings really so concrete and substantive? In actual fact, they're not.
Teni mulum gata nala yopa ta rao teni yingo yo res.
In fact, they're just the same as the appearances in a dream.
In
Buddhism, we say that life is just like a dream.
Teni tong shi ne teni chisu ni rabo teni zikana tong shi jana teni tela gare zegre na tela mulum zegre ma to tela matse zeg marez.
If we were to take the life experiences of a person who lived for 100 years and to condense them into 2 hours, then we would call this a dream. We wouldn't call it a human life.
Teni nga tso yang perna teni moschika teni gongmo mar nyal ni teni te mulum teni mina teni koranga mulum tap teni para rambo shini jerang tap tang perna ti mulum de rambo shini teni lo ja rang rao teni zila par teni rambo shi jana teni koranga mulum te teni matse rendo rezi teni kapsa teni tela matse zegre ma to ba teni tela mulum zeg ma rezi.
But in the same way, if we were to take the dream of a person at night and extend it for a period of 100 years, then that would then become a human life and not a dream.
Tani ta teni ki chapartuk karindu zina ta tisut teza rango ta thong rawo ma soba jamba tini chaparndreze labgona pe kabores.
So in terms of the difference of these two things, aside from a difference in their duration, it's very difficult to speak about there being any other point of difference.
Tini tisut rango ta thong zeya teyang tini nga so tini sem ko jakayore ma soba tini tong bu thona tisut rang ta thong zeya teyang jemo sinishana tini manduz.
And indeed, these concepts of shortness of time or length of time are just perceptions or constructions of the mind. If we look at them in detail, then they don't exist either.
Tini tenji ton de tini te toksona malam tin soan so samji tini malam rawo yemba te tini toksona tini tela tini nga su nyomo ba mambo tini kalimar mendores.
If we are able to gain realization or deep insight into this, that life is but a dream or like a dream, then this realization is able to make many afflictions disappear.
Tini mulam maybe nerkam nazi tini ngaso tini ta mulam yemba tini hako yamares.
When we are dreaming, we don't realize that we're dreaming.
Tini te mashipi gimsenji tini ngaso tini mulam ka kapsa tini ngaso sama demba samni te sam kanduaz.
And the reason for this is because when we are sleeping, when we're dreaming, we regard the dream to be true, to be real.
Tini mulam ka kapsa tini ta mulam mine tini ta koranga tini ta yana tini halipan soa deshchitang damba tini resong tini mulam mi yana na tini dungartang damba mulam mana Kanstar ti kapsa tini ngaso nyember kan soan rawo tini deshche kan soala halipa gawo tang trobo tini dungar ka tini soala tini margawa tini ta ngaso tini soa nangla yo pa chikchang rawo yongo yorezi ti mulam ka kapsa.
When we dream and experience pleasurable things, then we like it. When we experience suffering in our dreams, we don't like it. And this is just the same as in our everyday lives, our liking of pleasant things and dislike of suffering.
Tini mulam ka nangla tini ta ngaso pena nyember ka tini choa ka nang chikpa chikchang rawo tini dungar tang dewa tang taso tini yongya ka jimsante tini mulam ka nangla yopi ngupo taso tamchipo demba yimbi jimsenji mareze te tab demba yimbi jimsenji mareze.
The reason that dreams are just like our everyday waking life in terms of the way that happiness and suffering arise is not because of the realness of the objects in our dreams.
Ona kare rezena ngarang so tip demba yin samne sem ka nangla samsong wi jimsenji rez.
But rather due to our belief that the objects in our dreams are real.
Tini ngaso tip demba yin samsong wi jimsenji tini malam ka nangla ngaso lan jikchak tang dungar tang yana dewa taso tini ta chikpa chikchang rawo ngaso chowa ka nang rawo chikpa rawo yung jimsen te terez.
And it's on the basis of this belief in their realness that we experience fear, suffering, happiness in our dreams in just the same way as we do in our everyday waking life.
Tini malam ka nangla pe na tini ngaso tini ta malam digboz tini mini o ta pe na ngarang moschik tini ta ngarang tini sut yongwa yana chanzan tini takda zingda tini ngarang za je o tini shini tini ta dungar mambo nyoni jiktak mambo tini te malam ka nangla tini te myungur reze ngaso sangmaga.
In bad dreams or nightmares, if we dream that someone is killing us or we're being attacked by a wild animal, then this brings a great feeling of suffering and fear for everyone.
Tini ti kapsa malam ka nangla yopi tini jiktak da mar mepashe gona tabshi yakshude kanres.
At this point, what is the best way for getting rid of the fear in the dream?
다시 약주대 가래서 한 거다.
This is a question.
Yes.
Understand that you're dreaming.
Yeah, deni tata deni milam mi badi shina. Odi. Yang na deni ni lisena, milam ni sena yang.
야,
Tapshachiri.
야, 대회 가까이요.
Any different answers?
Generate bodhicitta.
Yeah, deni di shanshu kusum ye.
어, 양반, 양반이, 아래, 야,
Yang di ni lisewa.
아,
Jadi milam mi bikabs deni wrong deni milam mijin yin hako gores.
야, 답에 약 본두시, 드니 다, 드니 대제시, 다 가서 드니 오늘 전에 물음 그나라요 비값을 등거다바 나속마 망보 용나, 드니 탑시 찍어 드니 참아 매봐줘야 드니스 고나 강레지나 드니 가랑 그 물음 미근드 물음레 삼바 대하고 고레스.
Very good. Yes, that is the way it is. If we are dreaming and experiencing a great deal of suffering, then the only one way that is able to get rid of it all is to realize that one is dreaming.
영나드니 물음 그나니 삿고 그레스.
Or to wake up from the dream.
아니 삿고 그레스.
To wake up.
대 저랑 저 대니니다 되니 다리 란잡송.
And you provided both of these answers.
디 멀음 그 나나 등으로 요아테서 사마 되니 가서 양나 닛삿 양나 멀음레 삼바더 삼디 데라 된디 시송나 되니 등을 때 매바시 탑근도스 되니 가서 소화 나라 따사 가서 소화 멋세 나라 되니 등을 때니 양드라마다 mambo 된디지 요나 요래 때 가서 대 탐체 등을 때서 탐체 보 되니 양아서 탑시 찍고 되니 양 매바줘야 된디지 요 사르지 지성사나.
So if the two ways for us to get rid of suffering in our dreams, in while dreaming, are to either wake up or to realize that we are dreaming, how about in our everyday waking lives? We experience a great deal of suffering. Is there any one way or one method that we can use to get rid of this suffering? What does everyone think?
야. 데레요.
Any other answers?
코랄링님 좀 계세요. 야. 야, 약보레 성시 다 가서 동반이 또 그래. 코랄링님 좀 계고 그래. 그래서 상마레.
So, yes, they're both right. We need to realize emptiness. We also need to give rise to renunciation.
집시나 가서 따따 가서 되니 소화제야 멋세제야 너 코랑 되니 엄물음지나 하고 말했어.
It is possible that perhaps this very life of ours right now is a dream.
되니 가서 미르라 로지 되니 로 저착 로 되니 시와 망보요제요 되니 사고라도 되니 로 동실 집지 예nga 되니 레차라레제 되니 제요.
Human history, they say, extends back for millions of years. The history of the Earth, the planet Earth, they say, has a history of, maybe someone else might know this figure better, 45 billion? No, longer. 4.6 billion years.
되니 집시나도 상마 되니 멀미나 하고 말해서.
It's hard to say whether all of this was just a dream.
대가서 상마제 말이 대멀음 갈라인 되니제 그래서.
But everyone would say, no, how can that be? How could it be a dream?
되니야 멀음 마이 비 gem성가리 샤진도 제니 되니 트요나 되니 란가리 잡고 살았어.
But if we were to ask such people what their reasons are for saying that it's not a dream, then what would they answer?
What dream? What dream?
That
What dream?
the dream the milam
Manam
kangres.
tas na chadres. Yeah.
Oh, tingat so teni tata teni sibain teni samgyo in yung jikshena milam teni mijiosis.
Yes, teni na hako mares.
Yes, so we don't know whether or not we are awake or just thinking we are awake.
Karang hako mandus, ngarang kang hako mandus.
So we just don't know what the situation is. Even I don't know.
Yeah. Kanstar teni ngaso malum gnani teni satap chego yores.
In any case, we need a way from waking from the dream.
Teni ngaso tata teni ngasun chowa machin teni malum yin nanja, teni malum ngoma mayin nanja. Kanstar di nani ngaso sadna saji yores.
Regardless of whether this life of ours is a dream or is not a dream, we need to wake up.
Teni karti nimasila ngaso di nani sasona. Machin di nani teni maceg nani teni perna malum sabanda o teni shini teni sasona teni dumar sama teni tag lamsang me pachakanduz.
If one day we were able to wake up, just like waking from a dream, then all of our suffering would disappear.
Teni tinji teni te saji yo arizena saji nduz.
You might ask whether there is such a way of waking up, and indeed there is.
Teni mambo ngaso logi gtola teni satsongariz.
Over the course of history, there are many people who have waken up.
Teni shiti teni kanstar ngaso tarta machin de teni malum yinanda malum mayinanda kanstar tinani sadna malum sapanda o shini saji nduz.
Irrespective of whether this life of ours is a dream or is not a dream, the waking up is like
Te ngaso teni soanda teni malum yinanda teni malum ngomanda o mayinanda kanstar di nani ngaso malum sapanda po shini sad yungi yores.
So whether this life is a dream or is not a dream, there is a way of waking up from it, like waking up from a dream.
Teni goni teni sasona teni ta ngaso musoso teni sem ka tangla teni nipa halepa teni chembo mambo sem ka tangla ndu toso changma yer sad yungres.
And when we do wake up, then many latent powers that exist in the depths of the mind are also awakened.
Teni tindi she sona teni ti kapsa teni ta pena mode korang teni sasona teni ta korang la teni te dumur kang me pachang res.
At any rate, if a person does become awakened in this way, then their sufferings are completely eliminated.
Teni ti kapsa teni moschik teni ni sasona teni korang ka leka kari legrezenas.
So you might ask then, well, what should a person do who wakes up in this way? What is the work that lies ahead for them?
Teni per na ngaso sama teni khamban din na la sama nyet sona anyet ne teni sama ga teni te malum jikchak dang dam ba teni ga teni malum teni ngaso sama ga nyam de teni mi kaps teni tin na ni moschu teni yar teni sasonas.
So let's just say that everyone inside this room were to fall asleep and to have a terrible, scary nightmare, and then one of us were to wake up.
Teni mo khorang ka samlo ta na teni khorang teni ta khorang la teni mulum gu jikchak sama me pa chak so dungur yo mare jikchak yo mare yenna teni mo ti ta mo jamba ta so tamchi tarung mulum mini mulum gu na la jikchak mangbo ti nyang gu de samba de khorang ka ha go res.
So for this one person among us who wakes up, for them there is no more suffering and fear, but they still see everyone else around them in a state of great fear in the midst of their dreams. What does everyone think this person should then do? Yes, very good.
Oh, yeah. Then is Jambatso Nil Sago, Samalan Tinny, Tamalam Maltam, did some Malam Rendu, Tending Maris Egrity.
Just the Dishana Yapumare.
Mariti Gombalantini, Mozang Gombalantini, Samaga, Mulam de, Mulam Maltam, then Jistrake go Munduzegres.
So they've got to pull on the clothes of everyone to wake them up and tell them, don't dream, wake up.
Authentic raise in it. The Indian Atsota, then Natso Pena Sanji Shachata Sanjiata, then Sanji Natsola Chusungata, the so Tindina Boris.
So this is just like how when the Buddha achieved Buddhahood and then went about sharing the Dharma, teaching the Dharma.
Tenita Natso Sangmalal Tini Lamka, Damga Ni or is Damga Ni.
All of us, in terms of the path that lies ahead, have two choices. Either we wake up from the dream, or we continue dreaming. If we continue dreaming, then everyone would prefer that we continue dreaming a happy dream. So even though we know dreams are not real, before sleeping, if someone were to ask us, what kind of dream would you prefer to have, a nice, pleasant dream or a scary, horrible dream, of course we would all answer that we'd prefer to have a nice dream. So either we need to wake up for the dream or we need to continue dreaming a nice dream. These are the two choices we have. These are the choices that everyone faces. Whichever you choose is okay. In any case, it's preferable that we don't have a dream that is scary and horrible. This is the way it is. Slowly, everyone should assess the situation for themselves and establish which path they are going to take. And Kambo is now going to read the relevant text for this section. So that is the complete transmission for the text of transforming suffering and happiness. So what we have been focusing on in our teaching over the last couple of days has been a relatively foundational level of Buddhist practice. Even though it is a relatively foundational level of practice, its relevance to our lives is extremely great. regardless of whether we are Buddhist practitioners or not, we come across a lot of suffering in our lives.
Teni tapshinda teni ngaso dungmar to so me papshina teni tabdebo goni teni dungmar to so me papshi tapkare.
And so it's possible through practicing these methods for us to conveniently get rid of this suffering.
Teni di zerjakshini ti thola teni tangaso ti gom gyamne tangenzen gomna teni nyam tang tokbayakbo jella teni yarche yongare.
And in Yanja Sona Chokambala, not so the Nanding Tola Goms and Gyapnarva.
The Zerjakatoni, the Zerjakatoni, teni gom gyamna teni jella tangenzen yakpochi yongare.
And if we are able to meditate on this foundation, then we will achieve meditative stability.
Ya tiri ngaso khasang terang nimani tinangla tini sangma tini pe yakbo nyensong tini trvam yakbo mambo kosong sangma la tekji chejegins.
In the last couple of days, everyone has listened very carefully and has also asked really good questions. So thank you very much.
Tini ta ngaso ngwa molom yakbo chejegins.
So we'll end now with a dedication of merit.
Tong zhe zhe ma ye